What's going on, everyone? Austin Chomplies here, and today I'm going to be going over how you can get the legendary Pokemon Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde in Pokemon Legends EA. Now, this video is not going to contain any spoilers regarding the events at the end of the game because all of this happens after the end of the game. You beat the game, credits rolled, and then you get your wish by Quizarticle because you finally reached rank A. You and your rival, Tawny, or the other one. Like, I want all the Mega Stones in the game, or I want them to give me the Shiny Charm, or World Peace. That's not an option, only that you get to battle Pokemon together because you didn't do enough battling Pokemon together. And the president lady's like, no problem, now you get to battle more Pokemon together. And that's the future of Lumiose City complete. This is then going to be opening up the Infinite ZA Royale. Go around every single night. Now there's 3 battle zones instead of just 1 because that was your wish apparently. And after getting 50,000 points, you can then do a challenger battle. And your first challenger battle is against the first guy that you fought. Eternal Z, like the cab driver, like the really bad cab driver at the beginning. It's really discouraging. You're like, wait, what's going on here? Why am I battling a level 10 Pikachu when I'm in the post game? This feels wrong. You're gonna get some items like Carbos or whatever and some experience candy, and then you're gonna be getting a call on your Rotom phone. And they say drop what you're doing and come back to Hotel Z right now. Elle is gonna be there. They look much different than they did back in Stranger Things. And Elle talks about the Pokemon of life and the Pokemon of death, which then starts main mission 40, the one that gives, and main mission 41, the one that takes. First, the one that gives, as in the one that gives life, you need to make your way over to the lab, and Mabel's gonna say there's some anomalous alpha Pokemon just like chillin'. Wild Zone 3, 5, and 9. Go there and catch or defeat them. Actually, this has Pokemon that you can't find anywhere else, so definitely go catch them. First, in Wild Zone 3, there's gonna be a Wild Alpha Steelix. Steelix is unobtainable in the base game without trading with anyone else, so I highly recommend you go ahead and catch the Steelix for yourself. In Wild Zone 5, over to the left-hand side where the Bellsprout usually hang out, you're going to be finding a Gallade who's, you know, not really that cool of news because you can find that in Wild Area 20. And then in Wild Zone 9, on top of the lower southwest building, you're going to be finding a Wild Alpha Pangoro, who, I mean, like, it's not the best or coolest wild alpha, but you know, it's definitely there, so if you want to catch that, go for it. Mine actually got stuck on the side of the scaffolding and he was just unable to reach me, which just kind of made it so every 30 seconds I could just throw balls and then wait for his aggro meter to go down, and I burned him, so I'm just slowly waiting for that to tick down. And that's a 100% catch rate with a repeat ball. Very nice. And then she just says you can go to Wild Area 11, and when you do, Xerneas is just chilling there. This may actually appear different than any time that you've seen Xerneas before, just because it no longer has its 2 separate forms between its normal form and its battle form. Now its battle form is just part of its battle animation where all of its antlers get all glowy and rainbow and stuff. This Pokemon, as well as the other 2 I'm talking about in this video, are static encounter, which means that it is shiny locked. You cannot reset for it to be shiny or anything else, so just walk over to it, probably save beforehand. I actually don't know what happens if you knock it out. Do you then just get to redo the battle? Because she was really emphasizing the fact that you had to catch this Pokemon. Luckily, Xerneas isn't really that hard to catch. Just brought it down to low health, threw some Ultra Balls, and I was good. It had about 50-60% catch rate with Ultra Balls, so yeah, not mad at that. And Mabel's gonna say, good job, mission 40 complete. Then it's gonna be time for Yveltal, where Giselle and Girahim are gonna be hanging out and be like, hey, you don't know about the Pokemon that takes life away? Well, let's tell you all about it. They say to meet at the Quizarticle building. You're introduced to a new feature, which is that you get to replay the rogue Mega Pokemon battles that you did, except now you're by yourself, and I believe the Pokemon's level is scaled up, because this one was level 70. And these are actually time trials, so your fastest time is going to always be recorded. I don't think there's any like super special rewards from doing this, it's just there. And after you go ahead and take down all 3 that he requests of you, the bringer of death and destruction is just hanging out on top of a mall. Just like with Yveltal, you have to go ahead and catch this bad boy. And is anyone else really weirded out by the way that it uses its wing hands to run across the roof? Like the girl coming out of the TV in the ring? Oh, also, I managed to freeze mine, and then with an Ultra Ball, it was like 75% catch rate, so GG. And that's side mission complete. After you go ahead and catch Yveltal and Xerneas, once you make your way back to Hotel Z, L is going to just be stalking the front door, and he's going to confront you. He's going to say that he wants one battle with you, and when you do, he has a cracked Mega Gyarados. This thing is fast, this thing is deadly, it will flinch you, it will hurt you. It is not a fun fight. Please use your items. Once you finally take down L, Zygarde Pupper Form is just going to walk on over to you and be like, "Sup, dude?" And then he's gonna extreme speed out of there. L's gonna say that he wants to do one final battle with you under the tower. Before you go into battle with Zygarde, I would highly recommend you use all of your experience candy on a Pokemon that's going to be strong against it. I chose Feraligatr. I brought him up from level like 79, 80-ish up to 96. I gave him Ice Fang and Breaking Swipe as his attacks, and Swords Dance and Agility to hit harder and hit faster. I entered this battle with a lot of Hyper Potions, Max Potions, and Max Revives. Now, during the battle against 10% Zygarde, he is kind of a pushover. You just hit him a whole bunch of times and then he goes down. I think this is mostly just for you to get your Mega Meter up. And then he gets all green swirly, and then he becomes Zygarde Slithery Snake form. This super slimy Slytherin snake over here is going to be a little bit harder to take down, but it's nothing really too different from the rogue Mega Pokemon that you've taken down in the past. Do keep in mind, Zygarde is not a Mega Pokemon, so it doesn't follow that whole rule of you have to use plus moves to actually do damage. You could just do work. As you go through, be sure to top up your Pokemon's health. This is also the time to start learning its attack patterns and its animations. It's going to be doing Land's Wrath, which then has a whole bunch of green fissures that pop up behind you. You just have to drop everything you're doing and run. I tried recalling my Pokemon to avoid damage, but no, the much more important part is that you do not die. After the Slithery Snake is taken down, he's going to be entering his cocoon once again and pop out in full Mighty Morphin Voltron Ultra Complete 100% form. This Zygarde can and will one-shot KO you. Any opportunity that it can. During the first half of the battle, you're going to be seeing its attack animations that's then going to be leading you into its ultimate attack animations. Hops out to the side of the battle arena, recall your Pokemon. He's going to do Core Enforcer and do a big old green Z on the ground. This green Z then explodes almost all of the battlefield. I have died in the beam, I've died in the darker green, but then if you roll at the right time, you can negate all damage, and if you hide in these little black corners of the Z, you can just stand there and not receive any damage as well, and constantly lay on damage, because the longer this battle goes on, the more opportunity Zygarde has to OHKO you. Then, Land's Wrath is much worse than it was before. You have to roll out of the way of these large green fissures, because if you don't, if you just run to the middle or run to the outside, you're probably going to die. My first time I thought I had to run into the middle, and I was very wrong. I also think it's funny that Arceus' attacks went out and Zygarde's go in. Knowing how Core Enforcer and Land's Wrath work, those are the two biggest things you're going to have to deal with. Thousand Arrows isn't that dangerous. Once again, Mega Evolve your Pokemon, keep the pressure on, constantly do damage. Once it's charging, be sure to lay in some attacks to knock it unconscious, and you can go ahead and finally defeat 100% complete Zygarde. After you do, he's going to take a knee, and feel free to use whatever Pokeball you'd like. If you want to use a Premier Ball, or a Luxury Ball, or a Dusk Ball, or a Not Good Ball, that's completely up to you. Zygarde has already been available to be caught in every single type of Pokeball before, so this is nothing new. Unlike in Pokemon Legends Arceus, where you had the Origin Ball, nope, it's just whatever regular Pokeball you want. And then he does a fist bump with you, and L's gonna come up and give you the Zygarde cube. The cube hangs out in your key items, and you can use it on Zygarde to switch between 10 and 50%. Once Zygarde's health drops to 50% or lower, it then becomes its complete form and doubles its health. You've already had the Mega Stone in your inventory from when Zygarde went peh and gave you a little pebble in your from his mouth, because he's a good boy. Only after Zygarde's in his 100% complete form is that when you can go ahead and Mega Evolve. After this, L is going to say that he's going to yearn for a more beautiful world, and he's going to spend his next 3,000 years doing that. I don't remember the exact lore on why L is now cursed to live 3,000 years. Maybe that's like the thing of operating the machine that he did 5 years ago in Pokemon X and Y. And that's main mission 42, to keep the world in balance. And that's it. That's how you're going to be getting the legendary Pokemon in this game. Right now, in the game's code, there already exists a program for 2 EX missions, like there was in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. One is for Deontay and one is for Mewtwo. Mewtwo is a legendary Pokemon. The exact information on how to activate that event or when that's going live is not yet clear. There will be a follow-up video once that goes live. And I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out.
Man, they see me shining like I got the charm. Stay strapped, got that jet ball in my palm. Fell from the sky, guess I'm the chosen one. And if you need to know how, check out Austin John. Champion flow, yeah, I got that